Suicide. How does that word make you feel? What do you feel in your heart? What do you feel in your body? What does someone contemplating suicide look like to you? What do you envision in your mind? Robin Williams made millions of people laugh. Anthony Bourdain traveled the world and learned about culture and food. Kate Spade was a pioneer in the fashion industry. And surprisingly, these three individuals have something devastating in common. They all died by suicide. What? How can that be? How can three successful, well-respected individuals die by suicide? Success does not equate to internal happiness. Success does not guarantee mental stability. There is no specific look of a person battling with suicidal thoughts. It's something that can affect anyone, which makes suicide so puzzling, yet extremely serious. We need to talk about suicide. According to the CDC, one person died by suicide every 11 minutes in 2021. Suicide was the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 14 and 20 to 34. We may think that we have 6 degrees of separation between ourselves and a person who has been affected by suicide, but I can guarantee that you all have only 1 degree of separation between yourself and a person who almost died by suicide. And that someone is me. On April 26th of this year, I turned 23 years old. But to be honest, I did not think I would make it to this age. I did not think I would make it to 18. On April 26th, 2018, I had a plan to end my life. It was 7:02 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and instead of showing up to school, I would be dead. I was in my room, and I remember feeling defeated and hopeless. I didn't necessarily want to die. I just needed to make my pain go away. And dying felt like the only way that I could be free of the burden and pain that I was carrying with me. As my mom comes in my room, letting me know that it's time to go to school, she finds me curled up in a ball, crying on my bedroom floor. She immediately dropped down to the floor and put her arms around me. She hugged me and caressed my head as I cried into her shoulders. We just sat there in stillness. And after a few moments, I finally managed to get a few words out of my mouth. And I told my mom, I don't want to be alive anymore. I'm in too much pain. My mom squeezed me even tighter, looked me directly in the eyes, and said, I love you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. I'm here. 2 words that my mom said to me that I will never forget. Those 2 words made me feel like I mattered to someone, that I was wanted in this world. Knowing that my mom was not going to leave my side when I needed her most was everything that I needed to hear. My mom's goal was not to find the cause of my suicidal thoughts. She didn't ask me why I was having them or want me to get rid of them. Asking a person to get rid of their suicidal thoughts is like asking someone with cancer to just get rid of their disease. And instead of doing that, my mom's goal was to meet me where I was at and figure out what I needed. And right then and there, I needed her to sit with me, to hold me, and to protect me. And that's what she did. Research from the National Institutes of Health have found that acknowledging and talking about suicide reduces suicidal ideation. That's right. Acknowledging and talking about suicide reduces suicidal ideation because it opens up a pathway for open communication and for honesty. What would our world look like if we opened up our ears and listened to the pain of those around us? Showing up and being present is a step that we all can take each day to ensure the safety of our loved ones. You do not need to be an expert to help. You just need to be there, mindfully, genuinely, and authentically. Your presence is your power. Active Minds, the nation's leading mental health nonprofit, and an organization I have been involved with for the past 5 years, has developed a tool called VAR that teaches people how to show up in meaningful ways that can cultivate safe and open conversations around mental health. VAR has been a crucial tool that I have used with my family when talking about mental health. V stands for validate. Validation is the act of making someone's feelings real, raw, and true. It's about pausing, taking a step back, and acknowledging that it's okay to not be okay. On April 26, 2018, when my mom found me crying on my bedroom floor, she validated my feelings by giving me a hug and not leaving my side. When I told her that I was having thoughts of suicide, the first thing she said to me was, "It's okay to feel this way." Normalizing and validating the uncomfortable and painful feelings that we experience is the first step to making someone feel safe, seen, and supported. A stands for appreciate. Appreciation is expressing someone's courage in their vulnerability. Telling my mom I don't want to be alive anymore were the hardest words that I personally have ever vocalized to anyone. And my mom said, "Thank you for telling me. Thank you for trusting me with this." And my mom appreciating my vulnerability made me feel seen. I didn't feel dismissed, judged, or ignored. I felt valued for my feelings in their entirety. R stands for refer. Refer is about asking the person what would help them most right then and there in that moment. So after my mom validated my feelings and appreciated my courage in my vulnerability, she was honest with me. She told me, "Meera, I want to help you, and I want to be there for you. And I don't want to say or do the wrong thing and make you feel worse. How can I, as your mom, make you feel supported?" And I told her, "I just want you to continue to sit on my bedroom floor with me while I cry." And that's what she did. Refer can also look like asking the person, "Would you like me to sit next to you while we dial the National Suicide Prevention Hotline together? Would you like me to help you find a therapist in your insurance network? Would you like me to help you find a psychiatrist? And this important step of seeking out professional mental health support may not have even occurred if we didn't validate their feelings and appreciate their courage in their vulnerability. Talking about my suicidal thoughts saved my life. My mom cultivated a space where I felt safe enough to talk about my deepest feelings, my darkest truths, without feeling judged. How can we show up continuously and consistently for the people in our lives? My family continued to use VAR in the days, weeks, and months following April 26, 2018. My big brother was off at college, and he showed up for me by FaceTiming me just to tell me that he needed me here, that I was loved. My grandparents showed up for me by picking me up from school every single day. And when we got home, I would be doing my homework, my grandma would be knitting, and my grandpa would be doing his LA Times crossword. And you see, it wasn't necessarily about what activities my grandparents and I were doing in my living room. It was about how I felt a sense of comfort in the back of my mind, knowing that my grandparents were going to show up for me every single day to pick me up from school, just to sit with me in my living room, made me want to stay alive. My grandparents' presence made me feel so supported, so loved, and truly cared for. The power of human connection is one that cannot be replaced. Just like my family used VAR for me, I used it with them too. My grandma and grandpa immigrated from India in 1980, and their first language is Hindi. So when trying to articulate what my suicidal thoughts felt like, what I was going through, it was really difficult for them to understand because there was a language barrier. And because of this language barrier, my grandparents felt helpless and unable to help me. I showed up for my grandparents by teaching them about mental health. I distinctly remember finding a video on the TED YouTube channel titled, "What is Depression?" And I switched the subtitles of that video to Hindi. So my grandparents were able to see that video in their native language. And this made them feel connected to the topic of mental health. And slowly and surely, they began to understand what was going on in my mind. My grandparents and my family and I using VAR was like a positive feedback loop. Through validating each other's experiences, appreciating each other's vulnerabilities, we were able to show up for each other in meaningful ways. Using VAR is like exercising a muscle. By using it more with the people you love, you will be able to show up in meaningful ways that can make your loved ones feel seen, heard, and truly appreciated. We have the power to support each other just by being present and listening to the struggles of those around us. Showing up and being present is a gift that can save a life. It's what saved mine. Your voice is your power that can validate. Your empathy is your power that is guided by your loving heart. Your presence is your power. Who will you show up for? What will you show up for? Thank you.